was, you know...
He was doing the works. He was putting in the effort here. Now let's get into the land of Dawn. This is Todak versus JP Niners. Todak on the blue side, up against JP Niners on the red side. Ooh, they're starting on the same side of the map as well.
So... ZachQT is going to get the energy bar, instantly shove out the mid lane, get priority over Zyme Senpoi. It's classic Kimi stuff, and you start moving. I think Hazelnut, he's been really playing primarily pick-up type of heroes, right? Like Kalea is always the first pick, sometimes a Cho. We see him on the Khalid yesterday. I think what Hazelnut needs to do is just identify these openings, right? Sometimes, like I remember when he first played Kalea, one of his very first game, he could not find openings, and then he started improving.
Here's the thing, I feel like it could be like a team sort of situation whereby like he needs to get the green light rather than just force it himself. That's what I find like a lot of roamers struggling with. It's like, oh, I have an opening, but can somebody follow up? And that hesitation usually costs them time. Now, in terms of the battle spells, it looks like generally Pull Yourself Together, Festival of Blood coming in from Great Journey as well as the Kalea. Everything else seems pretty standard. Momo opting to go for double movement speed, Wilderness Blessing on top of having the extra agility. On the opposite side, pretty much all the same, but they are taking the extra bit of attack damage to make sure they can hurt.
And there is a possibility that when the turtle is about to spawn, Momo is going to harsh up the wave and start moving first. They do get the root on the Zyme Senpoi, but he's able to wing spy wings out of there.
Okay. I'm curious to see whether they want to fight with support ult or not. I feel like JP Niners are more inclined to do so. Then again, Todak could easily make an attempt as well. It really depends on how Zayed is feeling about the scenario.
Momo and Zyme is going to share this mid-wave, both will hit level 4 at the same time. Very good timing. Hazelnut gets some harassment onto Zyme, but with now Momo around, JP Niners, let's see how they navigate this fight. Zidane and ZachQT working on the turtle, Sapati going for the zone. Hazelnut also goes to the back line, making sure that Zyme Senpoi stays away. Sacred Feast from Grab does get used, and Zayed steals the turtle underneath JP Niners' noses. The Shock Blast has come out into a feather airstrike. Sapat is no more. Couldn't even follow up with the Infernal Pursuit. Zyme Senpoi finally goes down to Hazelnut, but damage has been done by Todak. Hazelnut will flicker the safety as ZachQT escorts him out.
Okay, not too bad coming in from Zayed. I think that JP Niners, the only way they could have played that better is to kind of focus their direction towards Zayed. They didn't want to give him the extra leaps. They don't want him to get free resets, so he's forced to use the Phantom Execution to get in the pit as well. And that's something that's hard to beat in terms of retry battles, right? It does such a ridiculous amount of damage. On top of the fact, if you're already stacked on that Lancelot, it's way bigger than the Retribution.
Yeah, extra damage from the initial puncture dashes, gives you iframes. But at least, I think for JP Niners, it's pretty unfortunate that Hazelnut was the one who got the kill, but at least he was able to shut down Zyme Senpoi, right? Kept him away for majority of the fight until Sapat kind of got dragged back by Momo.
Yeah, I mean, Momo is going to be really difficult to handle right now. I don't think anybody can naturally kite against him. Once JP Niners make contact, they kind of have to stick on you, which is a big problem, right? JP Niners only want to move forward. Todak, despite having a high execution comp, have the flexibility of moving in and out of fights.
And they gave Shin the double wave mid too, so he's going to be slightly ahead of L'Oreal. Also just got his Hunter Strike. This is where it gets tricky for JP Niners. They're looking at Hazelnut to look for openings, but Magma is constantly going to be guarding him.
Yeah, I think the hardest part about this is the fact that Todak, they don't mind trading flicker for flicker against Hazelnut, right? Zyme Senpoi had the flicker earlier, but it's coming back up in about 10 seconds. Magma obviously wants to use that flicker, but neither does he want to be the main priority for JP Niners. They want to get something juicy like Shihim, but he's got Purify. Zayed, but he's got iframes. Momo, I hope to God Momo dies if he does get kicked.
I don't think they have enough damage yet.
You're just praying at that point, just like, please, let's burst them.
Maybe if they have a Sky Piercer. Oh, Zyme Senpoi actually gets kicked. The Traction Pulse actually pulls him back into the hands of Zidane, who will blow him up. L'Oreal also finds a kill onto the Roamer. As Zayed finds himself one. ZachQT now on the sea. Sapat jumps to the back line. Hazelnut wants to follow up, but Zian gets away with the Purify and finds himself another kill. JP Niners still ends up getting something for themselves.
They do get something for themselves. I have to say, that could have been so much better there. Had Sapat just landed the Flicker Dark Wave in time, it's such a short window that you have to hit that Flicker to make sure that you get the extra distance. Because had Zyme Senpoi or even she can get tagged one more time by his passive, that Infernal Pursuit would have made all the difference.
And Zyme walks away with a free orange buff. ZachQT forced away by the Feather Airstrike. Now forcing Sapat to join his team again because the turtle is still up. Zai just casually farming the top lane. Hazelnut into a Jinkundo King. Magma flickers to safety. Sacred Beast is now unleashed. JP Niners takes his fight. Zidan jumps the back line. Look for Zihin. Just basically cleaves him with the fangs. And Todak now forced away. JP Niners will turn onto the turtle.
Okay, I'm surprised that she had ended up dying there. He wasn't kiting the exact same direction. I was wondering when Magma was going to use that Tsunami Slam as well. Looks like he got no value from it, unfortunately, during that turtle fight. Great for JP Niners because now they're looking to try and take the lead back. However, we don't see these neutral objectives being converted into something large, like invasions here. And Hazelnut, he's already scouting with the help of Sapat.
Hazelnut has been doing a pretty good job so far with all these kicks, right? Catching Todak off guard. I think Todak needs to be a bit more aware, like Dime Senpoi. Cannot just casually use the Feather Airstrike when Hazelnut is around. Zidan also closing the gap towards the backline with the flash stab, which catches everyone off guard. So Todak also needs to be aware of that, especially when you are running the Purify on Zihin.
Yeah, I think that between JP Niners as well as Todak, I think that JP Niners need to understand who their anchor is going to be. It's either Lolios or ZachQT. Most likely it is going to be ZachQT because Lolios needs time to actually scale. He does like negative damage to Momo, as you can tell. The Chrono Dash is not going to do enough until he starts getting some big ticket items. ZachQT, however, okay,
traction pulse, Dark Wave, pull back, Magma. Can't find a Tsunami Sand, now gets kicked back by Hazelnut. Great pickoff for the Niners. Hazelnut will go down though, as the Feather Airstrike will now be unleashed. Dime Senpoi gets all four pops up, but ZachQT escapes the Starling Beam enough to keep Zyme away.
Not bad. Hazelnut identifying the right target. Magma, unfortunately, not giving any time to actually get his ult off. Instantly gets popped, and then the rest of Todak are looking back against Hazelnut. I think they could have gotten, if they changed their target priority from Momo to Zyme Senpoi, there could have been a chance to get another battle spell, which would have been great. But honestly, considering they're trading 1 for 1, they still are up in, no, they're equal in structures. JP Niners not letting Todak run away with a lead.
And the net worth lead for Niners essentially just comes from Kimmy, right? Kimmy and the Cho, but most of Todak's net worth is in Zayed.
Yeah. Zayed, I think, as well as Momo here.
Momo's actually saved as Sapan.
Really? Yeah. This might be 0-2, huh? I mean, the 3 assists does kind of keep up with it, but I would have imagined that Momo would have had a more solid EXP lead. But he has been getting pretty involved in these fights.
Yeah, he has been. He's a glowing one for Dime Senpoi. Well, Niners making it to the turtle again. I think this is the most important turtle of the game. Let's see, Todak. They want control, but Niners doing a good job of keeping the turtle on their side.
I think JP Niners just have to fight, right? Because unfortunately, Zayed is 2 levels up on Zidan. He's not going to be able to catch up off of the small camp. And worse yet, they don't have enough structures to pressure.
Sapad's going to put himself forward. Zayed is going to target, even flickers forward.
Beat him up.
To look for Zayed. He looks for the final execution. This time Zidan gets the turtle. Zayed will get out. The Sky Piercer machine helps him out, but Zidan finds a kill. A shock blast actually misses Magma. Hazelnut can't really follow up, but they might be able to get Momo, or at least force him away. Niners finds too.
Yep, Sapat. Good plays, good plays. He's willing to die for it, which is great. Because now JP Niners have secured themselves, and this is the conversion we were looking for. A 1.4K, they're going to get a mid-tier 1, which is so valuable in these next couple of engagements, especially when we're talking about stealing away buffs, taking away all the jungle entries on the side of Todak. From this point onwards, we're expecting Todak to get a little bit more creative because unfortunately Magma is not finding any value.
Yeah, no value at all. Haven't seen Magma take initiative, right? Get the grab into Feather Airstrike. We haven't been able to see Todak really utilize the big combos that they were supposed to have. Like, see him hit his Sky Piercer timing. That should be the goal sign, but it's either JP Niners were always the first one to make the move, which is what we wanted to see off of yesterday, or Todak is just missing the moments.
Yeah, I think Todak also needs to decide how they want to play these neutral fights, right? Unfortunately, Zayed, despite being 2 levels up, Zidan was able to out-retry him in that particular battle. They do find another trade down on bot side, a tier 2 for a tier 1 now. Bot side, Todak just making sure that this lead doesn't get out of control.
That is one of the first meaningful goal lead this game. It's 2,000. JP Niners will take the top tier 2 and trade the bottom one for it. Actually, no, Loliao saves the structure. And we start by showing up. Magma is swapped back off. Look at the backline though. Zyme Senpoi is going to get spotted out and kicked into ZachQT. Zidan on a killing spree, and Momo this time will try to get away. But Hazelnut is on the tail, gets the slow with the Jinkundo and the passive. Zidan finds a double kill.
Nice, nicely done for the side of JP Niners. Really great pinch, and that's just the value of taking away a mid-tier 1. You don't have that extra bit of vision. You start making these moves, and then instantly you can just walk around the T2's vision line, allowing you to cross over into enemy territories very very quickly. Todak, unfortunately, mispositioned.
Such a... Where? And JP9ers will get the first Lord. Where has this JP9ers been?
I mean, they're playing with full confidence here, right? Hazelnut is not hesitant to threaten its targets, and I think it's a very clear direction. Zidane doesn't look as nervous. Maybe the first retribution was like, okay, I'm a little nervous on that one. Second one, despite the significant disadvantage in that fight, was still able to make it through. 2 levels down, he out-retried Zayed with the Phantom Execution.
I guess having no pressure on your shoulders also plays a big part. No Liao getting bottom tier 2, and Todak trading the top tier 2 in return. Zayed just living in JP9's jungle. And Hazelnut just spot him. He was going to look for any Todak members anyway. Zayed gonna jump around with the puncture. Okay, Traction Pulse actually a bit out of range, but they should still be able to take him out. Subbody getting dragged back with a spread and grab. Zayed Senpoi finds the kill. Zayed should eventually go down. Couple more shots to the face, 1-for-1.
Unable to outplay it, unfortunately. A second off with Thorn Rose. Anyways, JP9ers could be walking with the Lord this time. Not enough damage applied to the waves to really make it matter here. With the member down.
Zayed Senpoi gets spot out again. This time flickers the safety. Good stuff from Hazelnut. Executes. Good stuff from CN. Executes Hazelnut. Traction Pulse pulls Magma back. JP9ers, they want to push on forward a bit more, but the Lord is still slow pushing, so they have plenty of time.
Hazelnut may have overextended a little bit there. His ult just got off a cooldown, so I'm not entirely sure what the third hit of Jikundo was going to make a difference unless Zidane was going for a full engagement, which I don't think is necessary when you have the Lord on your side. It's about space, it's about breaking these holy defenses, it's maybe even greeting out for an inhibitor.
They set themselves up for one more empowered minion wave. Todak will take care of the top side. With Zayed, the mid lane also will be cleared out. No substantial damage to Todak structures. In fact, I think all of the inhibitors were untouched.
It's just no holy defense at this point. Any mistake coming in from Todak might just be permanent in the next couple of seconds. Winter Truncheon already purchased by... Sorry, Winter Crown already purchased by Zidane.
He's pretty far ahead. Hunter Strike, War Axe, Queen's Wings, Winter Crown. He's virtually unstoppable right now.
Yeah.
They don't really have the best way to control him, right? The only reliable crowd control is Magma. But Magma has a lot more on his plate than just dealing with the Lucas.
I think at this point, Zayed needs to make a super play. If not, Momo tries to make a super play. He needs to get right on top of some key targets, whether it be Zac QT or Loliels. That way, Hazelnut is forced to look away from Zayed Senpoi and focus on Zayed, allowing a feathered airstrike to come through. Either or, Safat is still going to be a major problem here. Shihin can technically try and outplay him, but even so, the time bought by the Fulvius alone is more valuable.
And this feathered airstrike used by Zayed Senpoi, again, just to stagger out the waves. They have a pushing bottom wave, which JP9ers will handle right now, so they keep the bottom 2 up. They set up a slow push on the top lanes. The Lord will be spawning bottom.
They're going to take their time with this. They've got a slow push up on top side. Wave's going to collapse exactly how they wanted to, which is perfect for them.
Slow push bottom too. So conceal into a flicker, grab on a Hazelnut. That should be an executed kill. No, Hazelnut actually dashes away with the Chun Pulse. Still has immortality. Traction Pulse does go wide. JP9ers finds the best case scenario for disengage.
I mean, there was still... Even if Hazelnut had gone down, he still had Flicker, he still had Immortality. That was on Shihin. He ended up missing some important shots. One of the shots from the Death Sonata, and more importantly, his Rhapsody didn't fully connect on the jump.
And Oliao playing a dangerous game.
Whoa!
Done, okay. Goes in with the Sacred Beast. If you're told out, you back off right now. Run the bar out.
Yep, run that bar out. Zidane actually doesn't mind dying, especially if you are ending up playing this Lucas. You don't mind dying when you're still in the Sacred Beast form, right? You come back, you still have the amount of charge you had left previously before you died.
And that's going to get nerfed soon. You lose all the charge, actually.
No, please. Please, that's all I have. That's everything that Lucas it can do.
That slow push in top lane is going to be a threat. Hazelnut is setting up. Anyone shows up to clear the wave, he's going to look for a pick, and he has Loliels to help him. JP9ers now holding Todak hostage.
This is good, this is good. They're going to start the rush right now. The pinch coming in from the left side.
Hazelnut actually goes for a flicker, gets stunned up, grab backwards, will lose his immortality, but Loliel is just going to dash in with his and force Magma, conceal to get away. Loliel still finds a tap on the kill. Hazelnut does go down, Zayed getting control, but able to dash away. Loliel ends up finding a double kill, but Zidane will go in for the unstoppable streak onto Zayed.
Nicely done. JP9ers made a call. Everybody was together on it. They technically could have kind of split up the roles there where a couple would still stick on top of the Lord. Obviously, Zidane shouldn't be the one who's sitting on top of the Lord because, again, without that Sacred Beast Form, you do get chunked out. You cannot naturally solo it without your team.
With that Lord, let's see, JP9ers, Loliao dashing in. That is the Loliao that we all know and love. A solo kill on the Sihin doesn't end up going down though. As the inhibitor and the crystal shot ended up helping Zyme Senpai get the shutdown.
And I thought that Feather Airstrike did all the work. Unfortunately not. No inhibitor's broken just yet. Lord about to spawn. And at this point, Todak, they're going to be missing Shihin, and Lolios won't be there for the upcoming fight. It's going to be a little awkward for the Niners.
I think you just let this top wave push in so you could hold the Lord, stagger the wave, Loliao comes back, and then you continue with the push.
Jungle path for Zidane, he's going to end up on the bottom side of the map. I think JP Niners are going to end up on opposite ends. They're going to give up this initial Lord push and start going for that bottom wave, I would hope. But it looks like Sabat is slowly opening up the map alongside with ZQT. They prefer a wider spread.
Yeah, even for Hazelnut, he's taking control of the bottom jungle. Todak doesn't want to show on the map without knowing where this show is. Hazelnut showing himself, I think Todak at least will be able to kind of reconfigure where they want to head towards. Right now, they take that bottom jungle for themselves as the rest of JP9ers will push this top wave in.
I sure hope Hazelnut understands what he's doing right now because he forced the movement out of Todak. Here we go, next fight.
Yeah, flick the tidal strike into Tsunami Slam on a Sabat, who just eats all of it. Zidane just dashes in and chews out Magma. Monster kill for him. ZQT gets away. Zidane still wants more, but gets executed in the end. They do find Zayed though with the combination of Hazelnut and Loliao. No Feather Airstrike from the side of Todak. Loliao will work on the inhibitor in the bottom lane.
Yep, they still have that second wave to work with. They're going to take every single inhibitor. Zyme Senpai doesn't have the Feather Airstrike just yet. Cooldown is short, but not short enough.
JP9ers have essentially secured checkmate angle. Hazelnut able to get away. Traction Pulse. Forces the Purify from Shihin, and Loliao goes in for another solo kill onto the Granger. Feather Airstrike comes back off. Cooldown. And they take out ZQT. Todak holding the base for now, but damage is permanent.
Loliao, he still has those mechanics. When you need him the most, and more so if you need to get a bigger lead, he's that guy you can rely on. If you need him to clutch, that's a different story.
Yeah. Very different personalities, but also very different atmospheres, I think, on both sides of the aisle. You look at the player counts on JP9's side, all smiles and laughter, really enjoying the moment. Maybe also because they are winning, but for Todak's side, it's more of a tense atmosphere.
Yeah, it's a bit of a bummer, right? Because again, these small moments, these small missed mechanics have costed them quite a lot against the JP9ers, but it's not like the lead is running away from them. They're still technically quite even. Everybody's hitting their endgame builds. The only problem is how do you deal with the Lord with 3 missing inhibitors on your sides? Every single one of these waves are going to keep you held hostage, as the JP9ers have no incentive to rush the Lord.
And if they get it, it's a bonus. They just run down the lane. 18 minutes, Lord just evolve.
This is where it's going to get brutal. If Todak can win this fight prior to the Lord, that'd be great. If they can find a pick-off, that's also really good.
Oh, that's the pick-off that they want. Hazelnut still gets away. Still has the immortality, comes back to life. With the flicker to work with, but actually missing a flicker dark wave again. Miss mechanics.
It happens. It's not easy. Let me tell you, it is not easy to get that timing down.
Wait, so you flicker and dark wave, or you dark wave then flicker?
You have to be in the animation of the dark wave and then you flicker. But the problem is that there's like an awkward amount of animation time. So it looks like you have a little bit longer, but you have to do it straight away.
So
press.
So the moment you raise the monolith, you flicker.
Exactly. You don't give it any time. Just instantly, as soon as you tap, you instantly tap your flicker as well. Do not hesitate. As soon as you hesitate, that's when you whiff it.
That's why we need the GT30 Pro, the shortcut.
Just the triggers?
We need the trigger.
Oh, dude. Whoever uses the GT30 Pro and uses the trigger for flicker is a madman. You know how many times you're accidentally going to bump into it, you just flicker out of nowhere?
But more so, is it legal competitively?
That's a good question. We'll ask the marshals later down the line.
No, like in game titles that need mouse and keyboard, any macro is straight up illegal.
That's disgusting. How could you? Macros? Ugh.
It's the fastest item swap I've seen. Rose go into the immortality.
All right, his immortality timing has come back online. At the very least now, they're just holding it hostage. Here comes the fight.
Magma can steal into a knockout. Flicker tries to go for a grab. Momo is actually in the back with Zayed helping him, but Sin is already gone down. The backline exposed. JP9 just piles on the Todak. Momo will lose his immortality, and Lo Liao dealing with Magma shouldn't be a problem. Lo Liao doing just fine. Zidane goes into the Winter Crown. Zion Senpai and Cian both escape with Sliver of Hell. Zidane contacts alive with the immortality. Flash stab executed by Cian. But Stefan jumps onto the Granger. Lo Liao just dashes through all of them with the Diamond Force. And Winnie is doing the work for JP9ers. Magma and Zyme Senpai left to pick up the pieces. And they have that feather airstrike to clear out the last of the catapult in the top wave, but there's still more bottom. Zyme Senpai, you can't do it all alone. JP9ers takes game 1.
That's game.